Hi, you guys. Thanks for being here. We're going to get started in about 5 minutes. You might not be able to hear me yet. Hi, you guys. Happy Friday afternoon for those of you who are still in Friday. I know in Australia it might be Saturday. I see there's a few of you waiting for this class. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to get started in about 4 or 5 minutes. So hang tight till then. I'll be right back. Okay, if you're waiting for class to start, you may want to grab a little towel, just something you might want underneath your knees. And we will be using a strap today and optional blocks. I'll grab 2 blocks, but they're totally optional. And then as always, it might be nice to put on some gentle music. All right, so we'll get started in about 2 minutes now. While we're waiting, I'd love to hear where you're watching from. It's always the most fun part for me. So if you can hear my voice, let me know. Just checking to make sure everything's on, yes. And you can let me know that by chatting in, typing in the little chat box where you're watching from. And I have a couple little special treats for you today. One is my dog Pippa, who you see almost every week. She just got a haircut, so she's about half the size as she was yesterday, and she wanted to show it off. Yeah, look at you. So handsome, so skinny. Okay, now you're gonna just sleep and not bark for the next 45 minutes, okay? Yep, so there's Pippa. Hi, Mrs. Guagua. I am so sorry I mispronounced that. Ontario, Canada. Thank you so much for being here. I wonder what the weather's like in Ontario. Is it springtime yet? Is it mud season? Who else is here? Where are you watching from? I'm here in Denver. It's gotten really hot. I had to put the air conditioning on today and I just turned it off. Hi, Elizabeth. Oh, British Columbia. Thank you so much for joining me again. So for those of you who aren't there, I just did about a half-hour coaching session, which I'll be doing again on the 12th. Oh, springtime, raining a lot, Seattle again, yay! Thank you so much for joining me. That coaching session was pretty fun and unusual for me, and I hope you guys got something out of it. If you'd like to experience me talking to you in that way, you can join me again on the 12th, 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Thank you for coming in from the Bay Area, my favorite place. I think my heart really lives there. I have a new baby niece who lives in San Francisco. I haven't seen her yet. And my neighbor here in Lakewood, Colorado. Awesome. Thanks for coming in from Colorado. I'm in Denver with my dog Pippa. And one of the things I wanted to talk about before we get started is just to show you some of my paintings. So I don't know if you can see them back there. I might draw them, bring them a little closer. Painting has been something I've been experimenting with since the beginning of the year. And I've been painting birds, a lot of birds, and some other animals, but mostly birds. So because birds are coming to me in my paintings, I thought today we might try bird of paradise pose. And as soon as I suggested that last week, I'll admit, I thought, Elise, what are you doing? Because I can't actually come into bird of paradise very well. My shoulder injury, my hamstring injury. So this is a lesson in non-perfection. Yes, I did paint those. I'll show them to you. Okay. Might as well while we wait. This is my new favorite. This is a heron. And what was really cool during the beginning of the pandemic was that I actually made these into puzzles for a little added income since I lost most of my income, still have. This owl puzzle was really hard for a lot of people. And let's see, these magpies are the most recent. So, thanks for checking out the birds. Today we're going to practice bird of paradise, and as I was saying, this is a real lesson in humility for me. Most of the balancing poses teach us to be humble. They teach us to let go of perfection and have a good sense of humor. Thank you so much. Yeah, so we will be working toward bird of paradise. I don't care at all if you don't really get there. I probably won't. Let's just try and have some fun with it, okay? So go ahead and come onto your mat. I'm gonna scoot back and start. Make sure you have a strap. You might also want like a little hand towel for underneath your knees. And I grabbed a couple blocks. They may not be necessary, but definitely grab a strap of some sort. Bear with me as I have a little water. It's been a lot of talking today. And then roll down onto your back and hug your knees up into your chest. Start to inflate the belly with the inhalation. And with your exhalation, pull your knees towards your chest a little bit more, feeling your lower back soften into the ground. As I always say, if all you were to do today was sit and breathe, that would be enough yoga. So if at any point I instruct a physical pose that doesn't feel good in your body, or that makes your breath short or choppy or held, Please do whatever you need to in your body to find that long, smooth breath once again. Super important as we work towards more advanced poses and balancing. From here, take the strap around the ball of your right foot. Place your left foot on the ground to begin. Supta Padangusthasana, we're going to start to open up the back compartment of the right leg. So pull your toes back towards your head. Reach up through the heel. Drop heavy through the hip. And then extend your left leg out to the ground, but don't let it be floppy, let it be really active. Pull those toes back towards your head as well. 3 more breaths here, gently encouraging your entire right leg a little bit closer towards your torso. And then take the strap around, both ends of the strap into the right hand. It's important to keep your left hip down in this next variation. So I like to actually take my hand to my left hip, really push it to the earth, and then guide the right leg out to the side into a wide V. So now hopefully we're stretching hamstring and the adductors inner thigh. From here, just for today, go ahead and point your toes. See how that feels, what happens in the body. And then you could reflex the foot. Maybe you find something in between the point and the flex. Sometimes we call it a floint. And then really reach through the inseam of that leg one more time. With the inhalation, leg comes back up through center. I like to just keep my foot up there as I switch them out. Left foot comes up, right foot starts down on the floor. Pull the toes back towards your head, a little flex here, push up through the heel. Even as you're starting to lengthen the back of the leg, feel your leg shorten by dropping the femur bone down into the hip socket. Smooth, steady breath. Extend the right leg long to the ground, really activate by flexing the foot. And then both ends of the strap into the left hand. Right hand can anchor the right hip down, and then we take the leg out to the side. So this is where I had an old injury, yoga butt injury, so I'm not going to go as far this time. Always listening to the body without over-efforting, without pushing past the edge. With your inhalation, guide the leg back up to center. Set the strap aside. And then I want you just to roll yourself over. So right onto the belly. Hopefully you can see me here. We're going to open up the chest now in more of a yin-like pose. So go ahead and take one arm out. My left arm is coming out. Bend at the elbow, so it's like you're making a cactus arm. And then turn left ear to the ground. Start to roll over onto your left hip. Use your right hand against the ground to begin, and then feel the chest start to open, especially the left pectoral area. Hopefully I'm not smushing the microphone here. One way to open up the left chest a little bit more is to keep your arm right where it is, but lift up your chest and slide it forward, maybe even just a ½ inch. Place it down on the ground. Now with the right arm, we're going to take what I call a little half bind. So lift up the arm, turn it back so that the palm is away from you, and then slide the back of the hand down your back as much as you can. Oh, it's a lot of shoulder work, I know. Let's take 3 more breaths. It can feel good to really press and splat the left hand into the ground. With your next exhalation, roll, release out of it, and guess what? Only one more side to go. Whoa. I did an upper body workout today and I can feel that. Let's cactus the other side. For me, it's the right side. Roll over onto the right ear, right hip. To begin, use your left hand onto the ground, coming up onto fingertips. Push into the earth and feel that shoulder roll back. Then as you keep the right arm down, lift up the chest and slide it forward towards the left hand. Big breath into the chest, which tends to get tight and sticky and short as we round down over our computers, our steering wheels, our phones. And then take the left arm up and slide it around, half bind. Don't worry, we're almost out of this. Oh my goodness. And then come up slowly. Oh my goodness, unwind. Ugh. Let's see, from here, let's just come up into all fours. And I'll turn around so that you can see me here. Let's see, from all fours, actually I'm gonna turn this way again. You can stay right where you are. Let's take the right knee up, cross it behind the left, widen the feet away from each other, and then sit your booty back and down between your feet. Gomukhasana, cow-faced legs. Hopefully you're feeling a deep, tuggy, achy stretch in the outer hips. If you're feeling a lot of compression through the hip flexor area, just remind them to soften. The front of the hips can soften. Then grab your strap, hopefully it's nearby. My left knee is up, so I'm going to take the strap over the right shoulder. Left knee on top, strap on right shoulder. Then right arm comes up, turn the palm behind you, pat yourself on the back. Take the left hand, palm facing back, thumb facing down, and then start to slide that left hand behind you. Try to work your elbow as close into the spine as possible. And then go ahead and either clasp your hands or the strap. The strap is just there to get your arms a little bit longer. With your next breath, allow your hips to settle and lift your heart. Pull the elbows in opposite directions. Take about 3 more breaths. If this is feeling a little too easy for you, you could fold forward here for a little more intensity. Now if you folded forward, come on up. Release the arms, set the strap aside. Ooh, come back into all fours. Pick up your left knee, cross it behind the right. Widen your feet, so that you have room to sit your booty back and down. Gomukhasana, other side. This time, the strap will come over the left shoulder. Settle down through those frontal hip flexors. Remind them that it's safe to relax. And then left arm up. Pat yourself on the back. Right arm out, thumb down. Slide that elbow as close to the spine as you can. Bend the elbow and clasp. This time, I'm grabbing my strap. The elbows will pull in opposite directions to stretch the triceps. Continue to soften your hips. Feel free to fold forward. Woo! Tongue twister. Just a few more breaths. If you folded forward, come up. And then we can all unwind, put the strap to the side, and come back into all fours. Let's just work out the spine here with a few rounds of cat and cow. Inhale, open the chest, lift the hips, lift the heart. Exhale, tuck and round, belly to spine. Continue and feel free to move in any way that feels good for you today. Let this movement in the breath be cleansing. Pippa, don't worry about it. Sorry, you guys. I think the mailman might come and we might hear some barking. Okay, from here, Pippa, no. Hey, the yoga students don't want to hear that right now. I'm sorry, you guys. From here, we're going to come into thread the needle, the pleasures of live yoga. So we'll take the left arm underneath the right, roll over onto left shoulder, left ear, and then take the right arm for half bind behind the back, reach for the inner left thigh. Starting to open up through the right chest and the space behind the left shoulder blade. Twist. And then release. Other side, thread the needle, come to all fours. Right arm dives underneath the left. Roll to the left shoulder, the left ear. So here we're really excavating the breath underneath the right shoulder blade. Let's take a half bind with the left arm, wrap it around, reaching fingers for inner right thigh. Release. Coming back to all fours. Find downward facing dog. Oh yeah. Press the hips up and back. Feel free to pedal through the heels here. Again, stretching out the hamstrings. Push chest towards the thighs. Widen your armpits away from your chin. And balance that by really pushing through first finger and thumb. If you're pedaling out the heels, you could make these into little steps forward to the top of the mat, or you're welcome to jump or float. Hang in ragdoll for a moment, just let it go. And then bend your knees quite generously, tuck the tailbone and slowly roll up through the spine. We'll take a few little flows here. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Sorry I don't fit into the picture, but I'll be coming down real soon. Exhale, fold forward at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Roll your shoulders broad and press the chest forward. Exhale, step back for plank pose. Take your time here, make sure you're breathing. Take an inhalation here in plank, big breath in. With the exhalation, lower all the way down to the ground, untuck your toes. Inhale, cobra, shoulders back, chest lifts. Exhale, tuck the toes and pull back. Downward facing dog. This time in down dog, bend your right knee deeply. Hold and breathe into the left leg. Then switch it out, bend the left knee deeply. Hold. Breathe into the right leg. Straighten both legs, look forward, step or lightly hop feet to hands. Inhale, look up halfway, bursting the heart forward. Exhale, deep forward fold, ground through your feet. Rise to standing. Exhale, palms to prayer, and then bend your knees, Utkatasana. Instead of bringing the arms up, we're going to wrap the arms behind, interlace the fingers, and broaden through the chest. Continue to bend the knees and bring your weight back into your heels. With the forward fold, keep your hands bound. Torso comes down, the arms come up and overhead for chest expansion. I like to take my torso a little side to side here. Gentle little twists. And then release the hands down. Now this is where you might want a couple blocks. If you don't have them, really no big deal. From here, let's step the right foot back into lunge and then turn your back heel down as if you're preparing for Warrior One, which you are. But before we go into Warrior One, go ahead and back your hips up. And then back your hands up so that they're right underneath the shoulders. I'm using the blocks because my arms are quite short compared to my torso. You might not need them. This is pyramid pose, so ground deeply through the ball of the right foot, Super glue down through the outside edge of the left foot. Like a steering wheel, turn your hips to the left. And then when all of that's in place, pull your kneecaps up into your thighs and fold forward. Good. I think we can just leave the blocks right there if you've got them. Come on out of pyramid pose. Bend your front knee and sweep the arms high for warrior two. Sorry, warrior one. Warrior one. Now in warrior one, big sweep of the arms. See how far back you can get your arms. Open up the fingers wide. And then once again, interlace your fingers, but take the funky way. So opposite thumb on top of what you normally do. From warrior one, we're going to come into warrior three, our first balancing pose. So coming forward, bring the weight into the left foot, as if you're doing cobra pose. With as much grace as possible, bend the left knee, step back, turn your heel down. Find your breath, let the inhalation rise your arms up overhead. Vira one. Hands come down. Let's step back into plank pose. I am going to move my blocks out of the way. Deep breath in and plank to firm the entire body. With the exhalation, you can lower down halfway or all the way. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look forward, step or hop, feet to hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up first. Then interlace fingers behind you. Whatever grip you want is fine. Chest expansion, forward fold, just like before. Let the arms drop heavy, up and over. And then release hands to the ground or to the blocks. And this time we will step the left leg back. Turn your heel down, super glue through the outside edge of that foot. And then guide your hips back, pyramid pose. This may be a bit of a longer stance than you're used to. Hands can be on the ground or blocks. Drag your right hip crease back as the left hip crease comes forward. Engage the legs, really pushing the feet into the earth as you pull the kneecaps up. And then as you're ready, let the upper body surrender down over that straight right leg. Go ahead and bend the knee. Press through the feet and rise, warrior one, arms up overhead. Big circle of the arms, interlace the hands behind. You know where we're going. Bind the hands behind you and then launch forward for warrior three. I'm precariously close to the bookshelf. Hopefully you have a little bit more room. We're teeter-tottering at the hips, lifting through the heart a little bit, engaging both legs strongly, and then slowly bend the knees, step way back, arms reach high, warrior one, downward facing dog. You guys, crazy, but I think I hear an ice cream truck. I never thought that would be allowed again. Oh, feels like ice cream weather. Let's just breathe in the pleasure of ice cream. Yum. And then step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees and roll up slowly. I'm going to take a quick drink of water, pretending it's ice cream. And I'm going to do some balancing poses next, standing. I'm realizing I'm not fitting into the screen, so I'm just going to pull it back a little bit for now. Sorry, a lot of disruption today. Thanks for hanging in there with me. And bird gallery, ice cream truck. Okay, so to begin here, let's come to standing and then take the arms out to the side, internally rotate them. That means the palms will face back behind. Thumbs kind of point towards your hips. Then, with the hands and arms internally rotated, take them as far back as you can, almost like little bird wings here. Then go ahead and grab onto your elbows. This is a lot for me. I'm dealing with a right shoulder injury. If this feels like pretty decent and you want to try further, you can start to slide your palms together in prayer position, Anjali Mudra behind the back. Now notice as you're binding behind your back, can you pull your rib cage up and in? Try not to let yourself banana. Good. Release. Now let's try that with tree pose. Pouring the weight into the left leg, we'll bring the right knee up first, wing the knee out to the side. Use your hand to place the foot against the thigh. Ground down, lift up tall, and then same thing. Internally rotate the arms, take them well behind you like little wings, and then reach back for either elbows or slide your palms to prayer. Now, like a tree, send a deep root through the left foot. Grow taller through heart and head. Release your arms. Take your knee forward first, and then plant your foot down on purpose, like you mean it. All right, next side. Left leg up, wing it out to the side. Place the foot to the inner thigh, or it could be on the inner calf, just not against the knee. Arms out like wings, internally rotate, take them behind. And now see if you can grab those elbows a little closer or slide the palms together a little more firmly. Pull your rib cage in, lift up through the crown of the head, and release. Good job, everyone. So again, balancing poses are teachers of humility and patience and humor and practice. If you were wobbly, no big deal. No big deal at all. And move these blocks out of the way. Actually, I'll probably take one to each end of the mat for later. So if you're working with blocks, you could do that. And then come to face the long edge of the mat and take a really nice long stance. Lately, I've been really loving this practice of Skandasana, which is kind of that Jedi move from one side to another, which helps us open the inner thigh, something that's really important for preparing for a bird of paradise. So let's come into it, bending through one knee. Turn your opposite foot up. Dig that heel into the ground with the heel really anchored to the ground, then start to pull yourself away and feel that stretch through the inner thigh. If it's not available to come down this low, you can always do this by holding onto a couch or a chair. Let's take a couple more breaths on this side. And then switch to the other side. So I hope that makes sense. If you really dig the heel in, it's not going to move at all. Then you're able to pull your body weight away and find more stretch through those adductors. Working towards bird of paradise today. No pressure, no perfectionist pressure to get there all the way. Good, come on up. And then let's take triangle pose with the left foot out, the right foot in slightly. Now I have my block here because I like a block under my hand in triangle pose. In Trikonasana, triangle, I'm going to really ground through the ball of the front foot. And then again, stretching that inseam of the leg that you just felt in Skandasana, as you start to turn the arms, turn the chest towards the sky and reach the left arm up. Good. And then from here, keep your legs where they are, reverse your triangle pose, slide the left hand down and the right arm up. Beautiful side stretch. Send your breath into the rib cage, increasing the lungs capacity here. And then we'll come back into triangle pose. So reach and lengthen. Don't lose the strength of the legs. Left arm comes up, and from here, let's try a half bind. So turn the palm behind you. This is internal rotation of the arm bone again. Slide the palm, slide the back of the hand down your back, and reach for the inner right thigh. Once you've got the bind, you can actually start to roll and open the chest towards the sky even more. It's a little counterintuitive, but when you create a container, a bind, a structure, some stability there, then it allows you to actually express your freedom more, that opening. Let's release. From here, bend the front knee. So you're making a right degree angle. The knee comes right over the ankle. Warrior two. And then reverse warrior, left hand down, right arm up. Coming to extended side angle, lightly place your right elbow to right thigh. Reach the left arm up and over for now. And then we'll take it around the back for that half bind once again. Reaching for the inner right thigh, roll the shoulders back, lift through the chest. Good job. Release the bind, come up, straighten the leg. And let's just take it over to the other side. So my left foot is stepping out. The right foot is turning in preparation for triangle pose. Reach and lengthen. Left hand down. I'm going to turn that block up. Right arm up. Shine through the heart. Stretch through the inner thigh of the front leg. Find your breath. And then right hand comes down and left arm comes all the way up and over. Go ahead and come to triangle pose once again. Tilt the hips. Let the arm come up at first, internally rotate it, take it behind you, that kind of wing-like action again. Slide the hand behind the back, reach for the inner left thigh. Again, I've got an injury here, so I'm not going as far. You come to your edge and no further. Breathe. Release. Bend the knee. I think we came up into warrior two. Let's do that. Reverse your warrior two. And then elbow to knee for extended side angle. Reach the arm up overhead to find that long stretch from heel to hand. And then rotate. Inner rotation of the arm, half bind right here. Some of you probably know where we're headed. Good job. Release, straighten it out. And then let's bring the feet closer together. And actually, I need to do some hip circles here. So let's just roll out the hips. Get the lower back involved. So much of my yoga practice is just based on my intuition and what my body's needing. Go ahead and switch directions. When we practice binds and when we practice balancing poses, which bird of paradise is both, we can tend to get kind of rigid and holding. So sometimes it's really good just to roll it out a little bit. go ahead and come to a squat. So I'm gonna grab a glass, just a sip of water. In squat, you could bring your fingertips to the ground, to the couch, to the blocks. If your heels are not touching down, you might try bringing the feet a little wider apart, or you could just keep the heels off for now. Let's just take it a little side to side. And then what I want you to do here is start to sense into what it's like to really bring your weight into one foot here in squat. Maybe even taking the other foot up off the ground for a moment. Let's try the other side. Yeah, so really pouring your weight into one side and then the other. A little bit funky. From here, forward fold, bend at the waist, straighten the legs. Let the head go. Slowly roll on up through the spine. We've almost reached our destination. Or come close, and close is good enough. So let's take a nice wide stance once again. And this time, we're going to bend down and come into extended side angle with that half bind. So I'm bending through the left knee, the right arm is wrapping behind, clasping for the inner left thigh. Now from here, I'm actually going to take the left arm under. That means my shoulders will sink a little bit. I don't want them to go below my hips if possible. And I'm grabbing my fingers together. If your fingers don't reach, go ahead and grab your strap and use that to lengthen your arms. Okay, here's the tricky part. Let's pour the weight into the left leg and just hop that right leg in so it's just underneath the body. Now you're going to transfer your weight into the right leg. Transfer your weight into the leg that just hopped. And then without thinking about it too much, see if you can bring all of your weight into the right leg and stand up and reach the left leg out for bird of paradise. Looks like I'm a headless bird right now. Do the best you can, point through that toe, feel the stretch through the inner thigh, the binding, the opening through the chest. Lift up through your chest, through the crown of the head, straighten both legs, and then come down just the way, reversing the way that you came out. Oh my goodness. I hope you're all having fun and feeling humble. Ready to try the other side? Luckily, there's only one more side. So coming into it, let's take a breath. Turn your right foot out, bend down deeply through the right knee, extended side angle. Half bind, full bind. Grab the strap if you need it. Okay, now we're in a full bind in extended side angle. The left leg needs to hop in so it's right underneath the body. And then transferring the weight into the left leg. It helps me if I don't think about it too much. Push into that foot, stand up. And then maybe straighten the right leg. Lift up through the chest if you can, more than I am, please do. Ooh, my shoulder's not liking that. And then reverse the way you came in. Just come on now. Oh my goodness. That was as much action as I needed today. Uttanasana, forward fold. Just let it all go. Maybe you want to even exhale through your mouth. Bird of paradise. We learn so much from nature. You may notice how most of our yoga poses are named after animals or trees. Grateful for the birds that fill up our air with beautiful sound. Okay. It is time to come on down to the ground. Good job, you guys. Thank you so much for playing along with me today. We're going to just roll down slowly. Keep your knees bent. Place the feet on the ground. And then let's come into just a brief and gentle bridge pose, Setu Bandha. So pressing the feet firmly into the earth. Lift up through the hips and roll your shoulders under. 3 breaths here, especially if your low back felt a little funny in that bird of paradise. This will help neutralize it. Push your knees towards the short end of your mat. Tuck your tailbone under, and then slowly lower back down. Just like we started today, hug your knees up into your chest. Give yourself a big old congratulations for being here, for trying your best. And then we'll take just a gentle spinal twist before Shavasana. So extend your left leg long, tilt that right knee across your body, anchor down through the right shoulder, look towards the right. Come up slowly. Switch out the legs, left knee up and in, right leg long, soft, heavy. Tilt the left knee across the body. Really feel heavy through that left shoulder blade. Turn the gaze. Come on up. Unwind through your twist, and then extend both arms and both legs for a well-deserved rest. If you feel a little hyper or revved up from that practice, I totally understand why. I'm feeling it a little bit in my energy body as well. So this is a good time to emphasize the exhalations. Make your out breaths longer than your in breaths. So maybe you're breathing in for a count of 3 and out for a count of 5. You could also exhale through your mouth. And when your nervous system feels more settled, just let the breath be light and easy and effortless. Give up the weight of your body to the earth. Enjoy a deep rest. I encourage you to stay here for as long as you possibly can. So you don't have to follow me. I am going to start to wiggle out hands and fingers and reach the arms slowly up and overhead. And then like a rag doll, just roll over onto one side and push up. It's always such a pleasure to be here with you, streaming live for Yoga Download. Just a reminder that there should be a Donate Now button on the YouTube page, or if you're watching this on the website, I think there's a link. And no pressure at all, but if you do want to donate a few dollars towards this class, Yoga Download has been so wonderful giving me all of that money, which comes in handy since I did have to lose my massage practice during the pandemic. So it's always appreciated, never expected. And then just another announcement is that I won't be here next Friday, but I will be here on Friday the 12th. And I will be doing another coaching session just beforehand. So 4 p.m. Friday the 12th for a little wellness check-in. 4:30 Friday the 12th. mountain time for yoga. I'm always excited to take requests. If you have anything you want to learn or practice with me, please let me know. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, my website. I'm also offering a new coaching program called Evolve 30 Days from Fear to Freedom. I'd love to have you along. Please stay in touch. Namaste. Thanks, you guys. Have a great weekend. Pippa says goodbye also.